Shalom, children. Last week, we talked about how the Israelites complained against having Moshe and Aaron as their leaders, and the sad events that happened because of that. This week, we are going to talk about some more things that the Israelites were not happy about. Let's see if they have learned to trust Yahweh yet. The Israelites had been led by Yahweh to the wilderness of Sin to stay at Kadesh. Miriam had died, so they buried her there. But then the troubles started. You see, there was no water to drink. So the people came to Moshe and Aaron again, full of complaints. The people felt sure that they would not make it through the harsh wilderness, and wished that they had just stayed in Mitzrayim, where they used to have figs and grapes and pomegranates to eat. There was no grain either, and no water for them to drink. So once again, Moshe and Aaron went back to the tent of appointment to pray to Yahweh. Yahweh told Moshe exactly what to do. He was to take his rod and have Aaron help him to gather all the people together near a big rock. Yahweh said that Moshe was to stand in front of all the people and speak to the rock, and water would gush out of the rock for them to drink. So Moshe took the rod, and they gathered all the Israelites together. Now Moshe was very angry with the Israelites because of all their grumbling. He stood before the people and asked if he should bring water out of the rock for them. Then he hit the rock twice with his rod. Wait a minute. Didn't Yahweh ask him to speak to the rock this time? He didn't tell Moshe to hit it. Well, sure enough, lots of water came out, and all the people and animals drank. But Yahweh was not happy with the way that Moshe had handled the situation. He told Moshe that because he had not believed and obeyed his instructions, Yahweh had not been set apart in the eyes of the Israelites. Now Moshe would not be allowed to go with the Israelites into the good land that Yahweh had given them. Those waters were called Meribah because they had argued there. Well, it so happened that the Israelites were camped right next to the land of Edom, so after the rock incident, Moshe sent some messengers to go and talk to the king there. The messengers explained to the king that Israel had faced some hard times. After all, they had been trapped in Mitzrayim for many, many years. And they had not been treated nicely there. But the people had called upon Yahweh for help, and he heard them and led them out of Mitzrayim. And now here they were in Kadesh, right next to Edom. So they wanted the king's permission to pass through his land. They promised not to walk through the farmland, or even drink their water. They would stay on the road until they were all the way across. But the king said no. He would not give them permission to walk through the land. They asked again, but the king would still not let them come into his land. So instead, Yahweh led the Israelites away from Kadesh to camp at Mount Hor. There, Yahweh told Moshe that it was time for Aaron to be gathered to his people, and that he would not be entering the land because of what happened at Meribah. Moshe, Aaron, and his son Eleazar went up Mount Hor, and the priest's clothing that Aaron was wearing was put onto Eleazar. Then Moshe and Eleazar came down from the mountain, but Aaron did not come down with them, because he had died there. When the Israelites heard this, they were sad and missed Aaron. Before continuing on their journey, they spent 30 days remembering him. Well, children, we have come to the end of our story for today. So we will see you next time for another exciting Torah portion. Shalom.